Just go. All right, let's do another one. Let me make a 3-letter statement, and we'll do that. So hopefully everybody's got this here. And right now, this is just the most basic skills of analyzing logic statements. We're not quite to the point where we can really connect it with what does that mean for me? What does it mean for reading a legal document? I mean, but I've been trying to show you connections between, I mean, I know this kind of statement. My name is Jeff, if and only if I don't like tea, or my name's, you know. If somebody makes a kind of statement, I know exactly when they're lying. I can analyze the statement then, right? And some of you guys might realize this is like over-analyzing stuff, but sometimes it's important. People like to play with language, and they confuse people if the people don't know how to analyze it. You guys are now learning how to really analyze the hell out of statements, right? If you wanted to, or needed to.
If you really wanted to outsmart someone, we could.
Yes,
Yeah.
This is what I'm teaching you. I'm grooming you.
Providing help.
Let's see. So let's try a 3-letter statement here.
Oh yeah, we did like old arguments, and then we had to find a fallacy. Like those are slippery slope. Oh, which one's fine? Good thing.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I'm not even sure. I'm loving it.
Now, another key thing is, we know how to set it up here. Right? We gotta see how to set it up for 3 letters, but you always put the letters in alphabetical order. If people can put the letters whatever order, there's no way I can compare answers then. What did you get? I got this. I got some totally different. Well, your R's first and your Q is what the hell? Alphabetical order. So when I go to set up this table, it's got to be P, Q. All right. So we all passed that test. You know the alphabet.
I know the alphabet. Awesome.
P, Q, R. My one thing from Spanish I remember is the whole alphabet. That's all. So here's the trick. 4, 2, 1. 4 truths. True, 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 true. And then 4 falses. False,
How'd you
false,
get that?
false, false. Say again?
How do you get the 4 to 1?
It's just a way to remember it. And let me show you. We already know that if I only have 2 letters, it's true, 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 false, right? So if I put true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. Now if I put a true in front of all those, right? Because if Q could be, Q and R could be this, and that's fine. Is everybody cool with that? We've seen that before. But what could P be at the same time? P could be true, or P could be false, and then Q and R repeat.
But why are Q and R that?
Say again?
Why are Q and R those secret letters?
So, real quick, a little side note, and I want you to really understand it. I just want to have a organization so I don't miss anybody. That's really the bottom line. It's very kind of lame. I don't want to miss anybody. But notice this, has anybody ever seen like a little tree like this? P could be true or false, right? And then what could Q be off of that? And then what could R be off of that? Have you guys ever seen this kind of thing?
No.
Decision tree, or a probability tree, or a just a tree.
Just breathe away.
Read it off. True, true, true. True, true, false. True, false. True, true, false. Holy, holy. Right? That way I don't miss anybody. But really, if I flip a coin, let's say this is tails, heads, right? If I flip a coin 3 times, it could be tails, 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 or tails, tails, heads, or tails, heads, tails, or tails, heads, heads, right? And that's just an organizational, a way of organizing it so you don't miss anybody. So what's a quick way to remember? 4, 2, 1. I love that 4, 2, 1. 4 truths, 4 falses. 2 truths, 2 falses. 2 truths, 2 falses.
So
1 true, 1 false. 1 true, 1 false. True, false, true, false. Then you don't miss anybody.
there's 2 parentheses because you had a 2 over there over the P. So since there's 2 parentheses, there had to be 4 truths. 4 falses.
This setup has absolutely nothing to do with this equation except there's 3 letters. That's all. Nothing. Parentheses, any of that crap. When I make a table, I want to investigate all the possible inputs. I don't want to leave anybody out because then I leave out a possible output, right? So these are all the possible things. They could either all be true or one could be false. I mean, this is all the possible things. So if you flip a coin 3 times, how many total possible outcomes are there? 8. Because there's 2 options for the first flip, 2 for the second, 2 for the third. In fact, look how many twigs are there at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, freaking 8. Right? So it's just organization. If I ask you to start writing, here's A and B, now tell me all the ways you can have 3, and you can repeat them. If you start going A, B, A, or it could be B, A, B, B, can't you imagine you could leave somebody out? There's no way you can just remember. Did I already do that one? What did I leave out? Shit. Organization. You don't leave anybody out. Yeah.
So do you only do all that craziness when there's 3 letters?
Beautiful. And this is not going to happen to us. You only have to do this much when there's 3 letters. If there's 2 letters, what does it look like always? This. Because there's 2 options, times 2 options, 4 possible outcomes, right? If there were 4 letters,
4, yeah, it's 4.
there would be 16.
16, yeah.
I'm not going to do that to you.
Ever? The whole semester?
Yeah, it would be at most a bonus question on the test, where you'd only get extra credit, right? At most. But obviously, in the real world, I could have a statement with 8 letters in it. And it would be 2 to the 8th in length,
8 letters is 16.
right? And 2 to the 8th is 256, I think. 256 entries. So none of that's going to happen to you, right? Okay. So that's just the setup. The actual work is the same. It's all built on those 4 statements. Do I know how the operations work? That's exactly how math works. If you don't know how subtraction works, you're screwed. But you do, so you're not screwed. So, let's write down the whole statement here. Oh, let me keep this in black here. All right, so I'm going to write our answers in purple. I'll write set up in black here. So just write the whole statement out. And what are you going to put under the not P?
The opposite of P.
I love it. False, 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 true, 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 true. So it's got to be opposite of P, not P. So false, 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 true, 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 true. You'll also notice you want to be careful about things leaning or something. You'll be like, is that F with this T? Right, so it's all about bookkeeping. Let's see if we can handle, I'm not going to write the R down because I already got R here, right? Let's see if we can handle the first little tiny tweak. I'm not going to write the Q down because I already got Q here. But the not R, I should write that down. What's not R going to be?
False, true.
False, true, false, true, false, true. This is exciting. Okay. All right, so now let's attack this bad boy. What can I do first here? What am I definitely going to do last?
The
There in the middle, right? The if then. That's where my answer is going to show up, right?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So let's do this guy first, just because he's the first parenthesis I see. So when I and this with this, because when I and this with R, and these are R's, aren't they? You can see that, so I don't have to waste time writing it all out again. I've already written the freaking R's down. So and is only true when they are both true. So it's only true here and here. And I think that's everywhere, right?
Yeah, just 2 spots.
And the rest have got to be false.
No, in the first one. They're both true.
No?
No, okay. We're anding what? We're anding not P
Oh, not P.
and R. So it's all about making sure you're looking at the right place. If you need to, please, dear God, go ahead and write the R's down here. So then you know exactly where to look, right? Does everybody see I'm just looking at these? I'm looking at not P, no R. So this is false, everything else is false, except here they're both true, and here they're both true. How we doing? So me, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just trying to look at your answer.
And I'm trying to be real careful because I love this letter. This letter is neat. That is a neat letter. I don't want to see that letter. Is that Martian alphabet? That's the old, I'll ask you, what is that? And you'll say, well, what was it supposed to be? I love that. It was actually supposed to be 3. Oh. Because that's the old, let me hedge my bets here. Let me try to play both sides. How we doing so far? Right? So me personally, I would cross, I don't need this crap anymore. And I would go further and I would circle that so I can focus my eyes on that. Right? What am I going to look at next? So that's the answer to this. I'm going to if then that with the answer to this. I have to get the answer to this next, right?
Or.
So I'm going to do that or next. And again, if you need to, you can write all the cues down. Let me see if we can do this. If you need to, go ahead and write them down. But I want to or the cues and the not R's. Or is only false if they're,
Both false.
so it's both false there. I'm kind of cut, I can't. Okay, let's see. Both false here, right? And that's the only places they're both false.
Well, okay, second, last.
Yeah, those are the only places, those two.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. That's the beauty of those statements. And then you know what's everything else. True. So you just find those places that match the statements, and then everything else is the opposite.
Wait,
So you only have 2 false.
so for R, you did not R and Q?
Second.
For the one that you did with 2 F's on it?
Yeah, so I did not R and Q.
Okay.
So they're not both false. They're not both false. They are both false. That's false.
Why not 2?
What do you mean? So here I'm going to put a true and a true and a true. Everywhere else they're true. It's only false if they're both false. So that's the first thing I did was just find where my F's going to go. Because I know everything else has to be a T. Because there are no W's. There's only T's and F's. Alright. So I can cross this crap out here, right? Going to circle that for a second. So it just helps me focus my eyes. What's up? You guys doing? You're good, except you're mad. All right. Now what's the only thing I own?
I have a question. For not P, you did true, and not T and R, you did true. Because they're both true, then they're true. So why did you do they're both false or false?
Because that's an and that's an or.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, do you guys see what I've done for myself? I circled what I need to look at here. I circled what I need to look at there, and that's what I got to do between them. What's true about this guy, the if-then? Only false if TF, right? So we're going to have a TF. No. Let me see if I can follow it. Have I gone off track here yet? No. Yes. And everywhere else is true.
I still lost your math.
So the one from the bottom is false.
You got all off track there, bro.
So that one's a conditional.
Yeah, you were a little low on
Oops.
your.
Yeah, I know. I did what I said to be careful about.
Yeah.
Again, you guys see the only place that is true implies false, right there. That second to last row is true implies false. That's the only one that's false.
If you've got a true on the left and a false on the right, then it's
So the second to the last one, it's true, false, so we put the false in
That's
there?
false, exactly. Because if then is only false if it's true implies false. And the only place where it's true implies false
Yeah, I just
is right there. And again, on the board, hopefully you give me a little license, but you see how I made it harder on myself? Because one column is higher than the other one. So be careful on your papers. You'll have lines on your papers, hopefully. And that'll keep you in track. Right? Me on the board, I need blind boards. So that's my answer. I make a big old box around that. That's my answer. Asterisk, arrows, fireworks, whatever.
I'll make
Okay.
it.
So I want